I'm Keep Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all-the-time, anytime comic show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we're taking a closer look at Secret Empire issue number 4. Both the new Hydra regime and the Avengers Resistance are scouring the Earth to try and find the missing pieces of the Cosmic Cube. Who will grab them first? Well, let's hop on in together and find out, shall we? So, as we join the comic, we once again check back on in with that strange otherworldly dreamscape where a Steve Rogers with no memory of who he is still running around. Dream Steve, yes, that's what I've decided to dub him now, comes under attack by Batroc the Leaper and a few other Captain America villains. Dream Steve is saved, however, by the intervention of people who look like Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes. These two also don't seem to know where they are, but together all three men decide that strength in numbers is good and that if this place is dangerous, then they should watch each other's backs. From there, we do some brief housekeeping from the previous issue. We see Frank Castle, the Punisher, continuing to work under Hydra, but especially under Captain America, who he salutes. It seems that Hydra Cap made Frank a lieutenant in the new Hydra regime. His big mission that he's been given pretty much an unlimited budget and carte blanche to fill out, well, that's hunt down the dangerous dissident known as Black Widow. Speaking of Natasha, she's working her own angle right now. If you read that Avengers Undercover tie-in that came out, you'll know that her big plan is to get close to Captain America at an important Hydra gala and take him out. To do this, she's essentially kidnapped a young Hydra kid who is working catering and is torturing him into giving up some important info. As you might have guessed, her team, the Champions, don't exactly groove on this. Then again, when the idiot tries to run and gets shot, the kids sorta kinda are forced to change their tune. But believe it or not, all this right here is just appetizer. The main course comes with Hank Pym Ultron, or Pymtron if you prefer. This monstrosity of a man just so happened to sneak back to Earth before the planetary shield was put up, and he's been making great use of his time right now in the Arctic building a self-sufficient Ultron city. The heroes couldn't stop him because they were too busy trying to stay alive and fight the Hydra regime, and Cap more or less let Pymtron be because he had a shard of the Cosmic Cube and didn't want to get drawn into a fight. But now, the Avengers Resistance and the Hydra Avengers are all descending upon the Ultron city at the same time to try and retrieve that all-important piece of the Cosmic Cube. And as you might have guessed, it goes about as well as you think it would, by which I mean it turns into one giant greasy horror show with everyone fighting everybody. Although I do have to take my hat off to Nick Spencer. The two teams are actually balanced pretty well. You have Scott Lang Ant-Man duking it out with Black Ant-Man. Odinson dukes it out with Hercules, the Greek hero being sure to say how much of an embarrassment Thor is fighting on the side of evil, but Odinson fires back by saying that what he does for love and for Asgard. Even Quicksilver gets quite the little moment this issue. He really only decided to join up with the Resistance as an attempt to try and save his sister Wanda from demonic possession. In their weakened state, both groups are very easy to be cleaned up by Ultron, who knocks them out and takes them to a recreation of the old Avengers mansion for a dinner party, of course. Yeah, wouldn't you know it, Pymtron is in something of a nostalgic mood right now. He longs for the good old days when the Marvel heroes weren't all at each other's throats. When heroes were heroes and everybody got along. Jeez, man, what does it say about this story when the crazy robot monstrosity is making the most sense? Keeping with the whole theme of dysfunctional family dinners, it's only a matter of time before everyone starts yelling at everyone else. Everyone gets some pretty good verbal bars in, saying that whenever Tony gets a wild hair up his ass, he usually brings the Marvel Universe to the brink of destruction, and that whenever Captain America decides to stand up, at least half of the people choose to back him on anything regardless. However, the belligerent Hollow Tony decides to zero in on the Hank Pym aspect of the Ultron robot, saying that the real reason the Marvel Universe fell apart, the real reason the Avengers couldn't get along anymore, goes back way farther than any civil war or any secret empire. Oh no, it's all about when Hank hit Janet. This proves to be an incredibly painful button for the Pymtron robot, who freaks out and tries to kill everybody. His rampage is stopped, however, by perhaps the most unlikely, actually no, I take it back, by the most likely person in the room, and that is Hank's sort of apprentice, Scott Lang. He attempts to appeal to the goodness that still might exist in Hank if Hank exists at all inside the Pymtron robot, saying that when he's
down on his luck, he always tries to think what his daughter would do. And that surely if Hank thought what Janet would do in this situation, he would be given the right answer. And not only does this prove to be enough to end the conflict, but Pimtron is so moved he actually gives the good Avengers team the shard of the cosmic cube they were after, sending them on their way and making sure that Cap and his people don't follow. So yeah, wow, drink that in, why don't you? For the first time in Secret Empire, the good guys actually got a W in their column. Steve is understandably absolutely furious at Ultron. He thought they had a deal worked out, but then Pimtron does the most devious thing. He says, oh, well, you know, if I was Hank Pym, then surely I would want the good guys to win, but if I was Ultron, I would probably want both sides to destroy themselves so my robots could take over, and that would be a lot easier if both groups were on an even keel. So at the end of the day, no one really knows who they were talking to, if it was Hank Pym or if it was Ultron. Granted, before the good guys can truly crack the champagne and start celebrating, their good feels get a little undercut by Namor. The King of Atlantis, in ultimate collaborator mode, chooses to save the life of his people by averting a war by essentially just giving Captain America his shard of the cosmic cube, meaning the good guys and bad guys both have one piece apiece. But Captain America and Hydra aren't worried, however, and that is because they already have a mole inside the Avengers Resistance group. Uh-oh. Personally, I got a couple theories, but start making your bets down in the comments section below and we'll see who's right. So that was Secret Empire number 4, everyone, and overall I thought this was a really awesome issue, maybe the best one they've done so far. It completely took me by surprise. I was not expecting such a standalone story in this big event. Not only is Pimtron here ultimately used as a great villain for everyone in the story, but he also manages to, you know, speak up about a lot of really interesting issues happening in Marvel Comics right now. How it seems like they're endlessly stuck in this cycle of everyone fighting everybody. It's a feeling I know plenty of fans and critics alike have voiced, so it's actually quite cool to hear it all coming out of Ultron. Also, as a fan of Scott Lang Ant-Man, I was a huge fan to see him take center stage and more or less save the day. Yeah, this one was just a real winner from start to finish. I get the feeling even if you're a little put off by this event, this callback to like an older era of Avengers is sure to please. Overall, I'd give this one a 9 out of 10. So there's Secret Empire, big event comic for the week. I hope you liked it, and while I have your attention, why not check out some of the other videos I worked on this week for the channel. Want to stay up to date on everything I got coming out from the channel? Of course you do. There's no better way to do that than to head on over to Twitter and follow me at Cape Joel. And lastly, if you're feeling in a charitable mood, might I recommend becoming a patron. Patrons not only allow me to grow the channel, but you also get exclusive access to videos and podcasts before everyone else, and you can do it for as little as $1 a month. Every little bit helps, and until next time, everyone, this has been Cape Joel. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I will see you all again in another video. Bye-bye.